Hey friends, it's Liz, the official craft nerd, and today I'm bringing you 3 shabby chic Easter ideas. Okay, so for DIY number 1, we are making this super cute Easter basket. So I'm using some of these eggs that I've had from last year's Easter. As you can see, they are painted, and my daughter drew some cute little faces on there. So sorry, kiddo, I am repurposing these eggs this time around. And I'm a big fan of different types of textures. So I wanted to kind of do different things for each of these eggs. And I'm starting off with just some basic jute twine. And it's kind of tricky. You want to kind of roll it up a little bit at the top so that it'll lay flat on the top of the egg. And then you're just simply going to wrap it around the egg, adding glue when needed so that we can get these eggs completely covered up. So while I'm doing this, I just wanted to say that I'm so excited and honored that I get to do this video today as a collab with one of my favorite creators out there, Miss Sammie over at Unicorn Dust Designs. And if you guys are not already a subscriber to her, you are going to have to check her channel out. I will talk about it a little bit more later on in this video, but she is amazing and she is super sweet. You guys will absolutely love her. So if you guys are coming from her channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope you enjoy what you see here today. And if you guys are already one of my subscribers and you haven't heard about Sammie, y'all, you need to get to her page right away. I'm serious. And so just some different ideas for things that you can use to wrap around your eggs to create those different types of textures. As of course you've seen, I did the jute twine, but here I'm using some like nautical rope. I believe I purchased this off Amazon. I got it in a large roll because I used quite a bit of it. And then I'm also using some of this really pretty yarn that Dollar Tree is now putting out. And I absolutely loved this light pink color. And you guys, if you haven't seen them in your stores, check it out. They've got some really good different varieties of yarn now, which, like I've been saying it, but Dollar Tree has been stepping it up when it comes to their crafting stuff. I mean, seriously, oh, look at that guy's little face. I feel so bad I'm wrapping these up, but whatever. He's so adorable. I don't know. I had too much fun with this. Anyway, now once I have all of my different eggs all completely covered, I know that I wanted to add a little extra to them because this is shabby chic, so they can't just be plain Jane. Now you could leave them that way. Honestly, they look super adorable just as is, but y'all, you know I'm extra, so I'm gonna put some more decals on them, some more embellishments. I actually had this piece of ribbon. This was from, I believe it was from Hobby Lobby, and it had all these hangy little buttons on there, and I'm like, look, I'm going to use all of this ribbon. I just didn't want it all in one piece, if that makes sense. So I cut off all the little dangly buttons off of there, and I am just simply going to glue a band of this around my egg. Now, don't get rid of the rest of the buttons or any of those little pieces because you literally can use those on these other eggs as well. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some of those buttons and I'm going to glue them on as embellishments. Now I also had these little tiny doilies. I believe I got these from Hobby Lobby as well. You can find really neat little accent pieces in the paper craft sections at Hobby Lobby, and so I always gravitate to getting these little things because I always feel like I can use them for stuff like this. So I love the little tiny doily. And then I have just so much of this random ribbon lying around that I've picked up anytime Hobby Lobby has had a sale on their ribbons. And I used to make a ton of like dream catchers and things like that. And so I really love that boho vibe feel that these ribbons would give it. So I am definitely putting all of those types of pieces to use. And as you see here, I'm taking those buttons that I clipped off earlier and I'm just adding them right on top of my little egg here just to give it that little extra flair. So now we want to make the basket, and as you see there, I'm using my little ladybug. I love that thing. Totally cleans up all my messes, but I'm using these wood pallets from Dollar Tree, and I'm doing this because I wanted a larger basket. And I love that these pieces work so well together in creating your own little box. So the shorter pieces, of course, are going to be the inside of your box, and then of course the longer pieces will be your sides. And as you see here, I'm just taking some little bit of wood glue, and I'm also going to use the hot glue as well, because this is something I wanted a long-term hold for. So I will do hot glue for the short-term hold and the wood glue for long-term hold. And I am simply putting those shorter pieces on the ends. Now they aren't exactly as tall as the rest of the other two palettes, but that's okay, because you're really not even going to notice that. Once this is all said and done, it just makes a beautiful, beautiful box. And I wish I would have known to do this a long time ago, because I always stock up on the little mini crates from Dollar Tree as well. But these are a good size, and this is just, I don't know, I think this is such a cool idea. I did want to add a bottom to it, so I really just took, like, I don't even know, maybe 5 or 6 popsicle sticks, and I glue them to the bottom just to give it a base or a bottom. You know what I'm talking about. So once my box is created, I'm going to go ahead and give it a once over with some of my favorite Waverly chalk paint ever in plaster. And I'm actually mixing a little bit of water with it because I want to kind of give it a whitewashed effect. Now, this is totally up to you. You can paint it any color that you would like. You can put as much paint on as you like. You can have it a light coat. You can sand it off if it's too dark. This was just what I wanted for this particular piece, and I really loved how it turned out. Now, I did want to kind of show you the size comparison between this and the other crates that Dollar Tree already sells made. So as you can see here, once this is all done, I'm going to put up against the little crate compared to the one that we created. And it's such a difference, you guys. Like, oh my gosh, I love it. So, of course, it's not done. I'm going to take some of my Waverly antique wax, and I am going to de-stress my sides. Now, a tip that I have for doing this is going from the corners into the sides instead of from the insides going out towards the corners. I feel like it really does give it more of a brushed look. Definitely very rustic feel, and it kind of just blends in a little bit with your white paint that's already on there, and it gives it just a really awesome vintagey look, which I absolutely adore. So this is the final product, guys. I am in love with this. You can see I added rope to the top. I added a little ribbon and embellishment around the front. And it just, seriously, it gives me all of the shabby chic Easter vibes that I am absolutely in love with. You guys will have to tell me what you think about this one down in the comments below. Now again, guys, like I said, I am doing a collab with Miss Sammie over at Unicorn Dust Designs. You must take a look at her page. She comes up with some of the most beautiful pieces I have ever seen, and she is amazing when it comes to signs. Like that, I think, is where I fell in love with her. She makes some of the cutest stuff, and if you guys don't already, go check her page out right now. Well, no, not right now. Watch my video first. And if you don't already, please follow me on Instagram. This is my page. I'm under Official Craft Nerd. I did have a separate page that is no longer active, so I do want to make sure everybody sees this is the page that I am on currently. Please check me out if you don't already. Okay, guys, and here is DIY number 2. I am so excited about this sign. I knew instantly when I saw these little tinsel covered Easter baskets at the Dollar Tree that I was going to be redoing this thing. So as you see here, I am pulling off all of that purple and white tinsel and taking out those eggs. Now, you don't want to throw those eggs away. I was initially thinking I was going to. Wasn't going to use them, but I was like, no, I am going to repurpose. We are going to use everything we can in these projects. So what I'm doing here is I'm keeping the base of that basket, and I am simply taking some of that rope that I told you about earlier that I ordered off Amazon. You can see my big roll back there. And I am going to wrap this around. Now I'm starting off with the base, and I do kind of make my own bottom to this, and it's a little tricky. You got to kind of just glue along the sides and kind of wrap around until it's completed in the middle, but it's easily doable. So once I have my base down, then I'm going to start wrapping the entire basket, which is pretty easy to do. And again, you're just wrapping it around, and then you're going to go and add the glue as needed to keep it secure. Once you get to the top, you're also going to wrap around the handle as well, and then your basket is going to be complete. Like, this didn't take too long at all, and I absolutely loved the outcome of this. It was exactly what I was picturing in my head, which sometimes doesn't always happen, but this was really fun to do. So once the basket was done, I am going to start working on the sign. Now, this sign I got from the 99-cent store. It's a nice thick sign. It used to have some foam flowers on it and a decal, which is what you see me scraping off and sanding off, just so I have a clean base to work on. Once that is all done, I am actually taking my glue gun, because guys, if you don't know already, I love adding texture with just my glue gun. So I actually just wrote words on there with my glue, just saying that love grows here, and added some hearts. And as you can tell, I'm kind of just picking off the little strands of glue, because that'll happen. But I tried putting some lettering on there with some Cricut vinyl, and it just wasn't looking the way that I wanted. I want all my pieces to kind of work together and be pretty cohesive with each other. So this to me was the best option. And as you can see, dun, 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 using my favorite paint. So here's the Waverly chalk paint in plaster, and I am just giving my sign a once over with that. Now, you do see those little tiny popsicle sticks down at the bottom. What I realized when making my little Easter basket was that I wanted it to kind of come off of the sign and not be like glued up against it. I figured all that work I put into wrapping my basket, I didn't want it to be covered in glue on the back, just slapping it up against the sign. So I wanted it to kind of have a 3D effect. And by doing that, I just added these little tiny popsicle sticks that I have from Walmart, and created the base so it will glue to that and it will stick off of my sign. But once I'm done with the Waverly chalk paint, I am going back over it, yes, with my wax. And just this way, what it does is it not only distresses it, gives it that very antique-y feel that I love so much, but it's also letting those letters come through so you can actually see what is written there, and it just gives it all of that shabby chic vibe that I'm going for here. I love the look that it gives. So once that is done, you can see I'm taking my basket and I am just going to add a little bit of the glue to those popsicle sticks, and I am going to stick my basket right on down and line it up. And all I added was just some of that beautiful lavender picks and floral picks that Dollar Tree have been coming out with lately. Oh my gosh, it works perfect. I thought this was absolutely beautiful. Definitely is something that really you could keep up all year round if you'd like. It's very spring, it's very Easter, but this is the final project, you guys. You are going to have to tell me what you think of this one. I really, really liked it. I thought it was different. I hadn't seen anything like it before. And of course, those little roses that I put on top of the basket, those again are pieces that I got from Hobby Lobby. You can find them in the paper crafting section. They're the most adorable little burlap flowers I've ever seen. So I thought they worked perfect for this particular piece. Okay guys, here is DIY number 3. And for this one, we are going to use a canvas from Dollar Tree as well as one of their canvas totes. So what I'm doing first is I am going to take the canvas off of the frame, because I love doing reversed canvas artwork. I think it just adds just a little bit extra to anything that you do with those. And what I want to do is stain the frame. So instead of just using my good old-fashioned antique wax that I use all the time, I'm taking some of Waverly's chalk paint in hazelnut, and I'm mixing a little bit of water into it. Again, just kind of giving it like a stained feel. And I'm going around my entire frame. I just want to give it a coat. Now, it does give it a little bit different color than I was really expecting, but I absolutely loved how it turned out. So I give it just one coat of this real quick, and then I'm going to go over to my actual bag. Now, this part, I will say this was inspired by another fellow YouTuber named DIY Karem, and she created a pillow using these bags and created these beautiful flower rose like florets with strips of these bags. And I thought, that is amazing. I definitely want to do this myself. And it really reminded me of doing the little crepe paper flowers or the crepe paper roses. And you're going to do the same thing that you would do with those if you know how to make those. You're going to do the same thing with these strips from this bag. But I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can on how you create these flowers. So you take these little strips. There was really no measurements to it at all. I just wanted some good size strips. And you're kind of make a base. So you're kind of rolling it together in the middle. You put some glue down, and then you're folding over the strips little by little, and then just kind of rolling it into each other and adding glue along the way. So it does get a little bit messy because you're trying to keep this glue down, and you're messing around with the shape of it. So I do use my little makeup brush there to kind of help with the folding of the glue and the fabric. But as you see there, it comes out with these little adorable flowers, and there's no rhyme or reason. Like, you can make them look however you want, but you guys, they were just so pretty, and I absolutely love it. Now, it does take a little bit of time to make, as many roses as you want, but it's definitely worth it, I think, in the end. So what I did, and I didn't put this in the video, but I did glue back on my frame to the canvas. Now, I did add a coat of my chalk paint and plaster to the canvas. I just wanted to tone down the white. I didn't want it to be a bright white. And then all I'm doing is adding these roses onto it. So the fun part about this is that I am not only using the little flowers that I've created, but I'm taking any other little pieces of, decals that I already had, or little embellishments that I already have. I've talked a lot about Hobby Lobby selling these great little burlap embellishments and little tiny doilies and things like that, and they keep them in their paper craft section. So keep that in mind if you're ever searching for things like that. But I am just going to add along the way. Like, there's no, and I know I say this a lot, but there's no rhyme or reason to it. You just want it to look pretty. So you're going to eyeball it and kind of put things where you think they look, the best. And so that's all I'm doing here. I'm taking all the little flowers that I made and I'm gluing them down. And then I have my little burlap flowers that are already made that I've bought from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to put them in there. Now, as you can kind of see, those little tiny eggs that we saved from the previous project, I just wrap them up with twine, and I'm going to add a couple of the eggs to this because, again, I'm trying to keep this very shabby chic Easter. I love how this turns out. Like, and you can see I'm just kind of leaning it up, eyeballing it, seeing what looks good where. And truth be told, guys, this could have been a project I could have filled the whole canvas up and just kept adding things to it. But I just thought it looked good with just that one portion of it, and then leaving that, that dead space there, because I don't know, it just draws your eye to it a little bit better. So you guys can have as much fun with this as you want. And if shabby chic, if that kind of style is not your vibe, you guys could do this with colorful things. I mean, I can just imagine the possibilities, the different types of yarns and fabrics that you could put in there, the different types of colors, and embellishments that you can add, bright buttons and things like that. If a more colorful Easter is your vibe, you could totally do the same thing with that. Like I said, I just lean more towards this vintagey, shabby chic, country. I don't even know what you would want to really call it, but it tugs at my heartstrings, you guys. I can't help it. So that's what I went for on this picture, and you guys are going to have to tell me what you think. It is a labor of love, but I think it's so worth it in the end, you guys. Like, how freaking cute is this? Like, I am in love with this piece. And honestly, I feel like, again, it's another thing that I could keep up all year round for my decor. And it doesn't have to necessarily be Easter. It could definitely go farmhouse even. I mean, it's beautiful. Tell me what you guys think. Again, you guys, I am so excited that you guys stopped by. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button below and the notification bell to keep notified every time I upload new content. And until next time, you guys, stay safe.